This episode, we go in depth and spoilerific with Spider-Man Far From Home. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, you've tuned into the Chocolate Dollar Show.
Hailing from the Midwest region of the United States, we introduce to you the Chocolate Dollar Podcast.
Iron Man dies.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Chocolate Dollar Show. My name is Jonathan. To my left, we have
Noah.
And then, last but certainly not least,
It's Grant.
it's Grant. For those of you listening to this on iTunes or Google Play Music or anything else like that, we actually have a video version where you can see our lovely faces on YouTube as well.
That's horrible.
So, if you decide to
lovely mugs.
watch it yourself, you can do so by going over to youtube.com and searching for the Chocolate Dollar. Or no, I think it's just Chocolate Dollar. Either way. All right. So,
Anyway,
getting into it.
yeah.
We just watched Spider-Man Far From Home yesterday.
Thwip.
As of this recording.
Yeah. So basically, we watched this 3 months ago once this finally comes out. It'll be on Blu-ray here soon.
Well, we'll put it out for the
National
Blu-ray.
Lampoon's European Vacation.
So yeah, we did a dinner and a movie where we kind of went over our essential thoughts as spoiler-free as we could. This episode is all about the spoilers, though, and what we really liked about it. Do we want to just start from the beginning of the movie and kind of work our way through?
That makes logical, because otherwise I was going to say let's start at the end credits.
One thing that I noticed right away, actually, this morning, and I texted you guys about it, the scene where Spider-Man takes out the bank robbers or whatever, and then he has that, like, whippy
In his
one-liner.
Iron Spider suit, and then he talks to the NYPD.
Yeah, and he's like, "Are you the new Iron Man?" No, I'm too busy doing your job. Da, da, da,
Yeah.
da. That's not in the movie at all. I thought that was really interesting.
It's in the trailer.
Yeah,
It's a great
it's
scene.
Not an issue, but it was kind of interesting. I just thought about it, like, that wasn't in there. Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. Instead, the movie started off...
With a tribute.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Yep, with...
High school tribute.
How did it start?
It started with the news report, where it was...
No, that was after the Marvel logo. It starts with Fury and Hill are in Mexico.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
yeah.
It's
And then
the
they meet-
It starts with-
post-credit scene to the re-release of Endgame.
Yeah.
See, I don't even include that in my mind.
Yeah. It's not. You don't really need that scene.
Well, they go to Mexico, they do some stuff, and then they come back
There's
with
no
they
elemental.
come back with a man who's supposedly from another dimension.
Yeah.
It's a cold open.
He's not.
To an extent.
Spoiler. Yeah, this podcast is going to be full of spoilers.
Yeah, so...
Because Grant can't keep a handle on it.
Yeah, no, so it started in the desert. They found the cyclone and they met Mysterio with quotation marks around it. Then there's the Marvel thing, and then the tribute to Tony Stark, which I guess we can kind of get into that. You were talking about in the dinner and a movie how you thought it was too much.
I
The
thought
tribute
it was
to
so the
Stark.
The beginning of the tribute,
not
that was fine.
No,
the
I
tribute,
mean,
no
like
problem.
overall in the whole movie. I'm just kind of
yeah.
I'm going through the movie, and then when I hit a point, I'm like, oh, that's a good talking point.
I think it makes sense because there's never been a person in history that has literally saved
The entire
half of the
universe.
Yeah. So
Except for Jesus. wow.
Wow.
Good one.
no, but really, I think it fits. I think it fits really well with the amount of like love that he's getting.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
For the movie, though.
for the movie though, it would.
It was a
Yeah.
lot. Just trying to milk every little ounce of Robert Downey Jr. that they can in this universe.
He must have gotten paid for that movie.
I'm sure he did.
Because they used his
Although
likeness.
yeah, they did, but that's also stuff that they had from beforehand. So I don't know. I'm assuming they did because they're Marvel and he's RDJ and they owe everything to him. Well, him and a few others, but
and he owes everything to them.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
both. It's
it's a mutual
symbiotic
Yeah.
relationship.
But yeah, no, I thought the way they opened
Like
the movie, the open of the movie was very good for setting the tone of the movie and like, hey, you're gonna get some fun comedy mixed in with like from a teenager's perspective and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then there was a lot of exposition. What were you gonna say, Grant?
Grant's gonna do something. I don't know.
You keep interjecting by putting your hand out there, and I feel
Yeah,
like
because I'm trying to make you stop talking.
Okay, I'll stop talking.
I don't want this is gonna have to be cut.
Oh. Oh God. That's definitely getting cut. Anyway, you were saying, Jonathan? It's a good starting point.
Yeah, it was. And they not only paid homage to Tony Stark, they paid homage to Natasha, Cap,
Oh yeah,
all that type of stuff, which I thought was really
Vision.
cool. And Vision, yeah.
And it was really funny. It was a touching tribute, yes, but that wasn't its point.
Yeah,
Its
no, it was
point
supposed to be funny.
Just pure comedy.
Yeah, it's if high schoolers made a tribute to those heroes and then had a news report on it, and that's
Wow, that's almost like the setting.
yeah,
Yeah.
Well, that's what
It's almost like they did a really good job of doing that.
They did. I'm giving them the
movie-
glory
yeah,
for
the
that
movie
because they
gets
did a good
props.
job. I really liked how they handled Mysterio in this movie a lot too. Like,
Oh my gosh,
so I was going into it, I wasn't sure if it was going to be like a does he become bad through different circumstances type thing. Like, does he go all evil genius at some point, or does he pull a syndrome from the Incredibles? And I like that they went the syndrome route.
I don't think it was. Well,
Kinda.
Like he's
I-
angry at somebody, and so he fakes being a superhero through technology.
Yeah.
I could. Okay.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
Thanks, Disney.
Yeah. Way to reuse that.
I really liked. So what I really liked Syndrome. I really liked Syndrome.
Mysterio.
I really like Mysterio. One thing that I was hoping for was because I really like Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
I really like him as an actor. I was hoping that that the version we were seeing that was going to be good, and that there was going to be a version that was bad.
And like the good version died, and then the bad version took over type
or
thing.
Yeah.
that, or like the multiverse like versions. Of
Yeah,
themselves.
I was hoping for more multiverse stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
But
Earth 616
we found out-
Mysterio is bad, Earth
Yeah,
81
right,
whatever where
right.
he's from was
883.
okay.
But we found out that was a made up story.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not saying that they can't do multiverse, but at this point, it's kind of
they
like
haven't blatantly gone into it like they made you believe they would in the trailer.
I think we already proved that there are other timelines, which
Yeah.
can be answered
Okay,
as a multiverse.
So, finish after your thought. You go.
But we kind of that kind of theory is kind of dead in the water that they're going to do a multiverse at the moment.
At the moment, I think they're still setting up for it. I think they will. I don't know how heavily they'll draw from it, but it's still obviously because it is part of the Marvel comic book lore.
Yeah,
it's still
a
something
big
they can
part,
draw
too.
from.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that it should be a thing eventually, but I feel like we're not going to see that anytime soon. Because before watching this movie, we were pulling for like Spider Wars and other stuff like that. But
Going forward, probably not going to happen.
yeah, going forward, they're probably going to space like they do in the post credit scene.
An interesting thought I just had about this, since the whole multiverse story that he gives is made up, that whole quip he has about this is Earth 616. That's really interesting now how like because that's what it is in the comic books, is like the main verse that all the comic books happen
The
in
main
is,
prime universe
yeah,
in the
is
comics
616. And so it's interesting now how like he just said that, but it's also not like, since they're not going into it, it's just kind of, I don't know.
That was in Thor: The Dark World.
Oh, it was?
They called that universe 616 as well.
Oh, okay. I missed that then.
Thor: The Dark World, setting up stuff that nobody paid attention to because it was a boring movie.
But moving on from that, Tom Holland did a great job as Spider-Man, as always.
As always.
Yeah, and like he's my favorite live action version of Spider-Man.
He got
right now.
hit by a train in the best way possible.
Yeah,
He made me believe he was hurt.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, is he okay?
Going from the train thing and back to the Mysterio thing a little bit. The sequence with Mysterio, when Mysterio really shows himself off to Spider-Man,
yeah.
that sequence is phenomenal.
That's what I was. That's what I really liked about it. Is like
it was amazing.
because
That scene had to be a blank check. Literally slid across the table by Disney.
to whoever did the CGI, they were
Yeah.
like, do whatever you want.
Yeah,
Probably.
And like, I really liked how they did that too, because when you found out that, oh, he's the tech version, there was a part of me at that moment when I found out like, oh, he's just faking it and it's all projection technology and everything. I was like, oh, this is gonna be kind of a boring now. He's not gonna be as cool as I thought he was gonna be. And then that sequence happened, and I was like, okay,
Oh my
I
gosh,
take
yeah.
that back.
Yeah.
That was exactly how Mysterio should have been done in live action, and he did a great job. Both Jake Gyllenhaal as the character, and then like the whole like premise behind it too. It was like what they did with the Mandarin. I'm not comparing it exactly to that, but with the Mandarin in Iron Man 3, when they pulled the whole flip of like, oh, he's just an actor, and the real Mandarin or whoever is this other guy completely. I feel like they kind of did that, but much better in this, where the flip,
lot better.
yeah, like it wasn't disappointingly.
Also,
It wasn't a disappointing twist, but it was a twist that was like, oh,
yeah. Also, it's really cool how they we've talked a little bit about how they've modernized Spider-Man and they modernized Vulture in the past movie, and now they modernized Mysterio.
Yeah.
I was wondering before going into this movie, because in the comics he uses like up close magic type stuff and like mirrors and like basic just smoke and mirrors type stuff
There are updated versions of him where it's the suit.
Yeah, and he's used hallucination drugs in the comics and stuff. The drone idea
Was a really good
with
idea.
like projections and stuff.
I don't know if
amazing.
that's from anything else.
I don't
but it
think
is,
so.
But it is. I
Yeah.
think it's great.
And it
Yeah,
fits
not to my
perfectly.
And that the drone swarm sounds like something Tony would kind of do.
Yeah,
But
it was interesting how they even reused Barf from Civil War.
Yeah.
I want to go back and see if you can actually see the shadow of somebody in the background.
I doubt
highly
it.
doubt it.
But that was a good way to call back on stories you've already told and figure out how can we make this fit without it feeling like it was forced. Like that makes sense how they made it go.
I
we
think
get
that
to-
they did still have to kind of shoehorn Jake Gyllenhaal's character in there for Barf during that scene in Civil War, but like the concept they definitely reused.
It was believable.
Mysterio's a great villain.
Yeah.
they did great with him.
They handled him really well. Like it wasn't cheesy. It felt right.
And
So-
Jake Gyllenhaal.
He did a good job portraying the
portrayed him
character.
very
Both like the sincere, I kind of hope he's a good guy version of him, and the
Maniacal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did both of them, and he had a very like
Believable way that he portrayed that.
yeah, and also like his whole self-focused aspect. You could almost kind of look at it as like it's kind of like it's similar to Tony in the self-absorbed way, but like Tony's journey kind of makes him more outward focused through that, whereas this it like went the opposite way. So it's an interesting.
He just doesn't
Character
care about
element.
other people.
Yeah.
And he's whatever it means to move his plan forward.
Yeah.
So, so let's talk briefly a little bit about the end of it now.
Okay. Sure.
I'm talking particularly the
How the mid credits ended.
yes,
Yeah,
the
crazy.
the name release is what I'm talking about, right?
Straight
Okay.
up mid credits, nuts. Like
Oh yeah,
that 2 minutes of mid credits, that changes the entire movie.
Oh,
and
yeah.
kind of so does the end credits too, the post credits.
And that's what I was saying. If you watched our dinner and a movie episode about this, that's what I was saying earlier about like the things that I didn't like that happened to the characters I liked as story elements. That's what I was talking about. And,
Yeah.
like I don't like that happened to Peter Parker because that sucks for him.
Yeah.
But as a story element, it's really great because now it's getting people to think like, oh, what's the future going to be like? How are they going to like fix this? Is it going to be just this is Spider-Man's issue now? Or,
So-
and J.K. Simmons coming back.
Oh my
As
gosh.
J. Jonah
Those
Jameson.
crazy kids did it. They brought him back.
That was amazing. Continue.
Oh no, what I was gonna say is I think it's gonna be interesting because Shield now Sword is gonna be
Yeah.
looking more outward at
Towards
the
space.
Yeah, they're going towards the galaxy.
Protecting Earth from extraterrestrial threats.
Which Thanos would be a good way to be like, that's a good
point.
motivation for Sword.
Yeah.
Holy crap, this is way bigger than we thought it would be. Let's make Sword now.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that it's interesting that that the main lineup, the big hitters, are going to be transitioning more towards outer space, and that's going to leave Spider-Man on Earth with his drone swarm. Is he going to be more of the protector of maybe not the entirety of Earth, but like doing a little bit more? You know, are we going to see stakes raised on his part?
Well, they
how
could
are
do it a
gonna-
couple different ways with them revealing. Like, okay, so for those of you who may not have seen the movie, first of all, see the movie.
Yeah, why
and
are
if
you
you're listening to
watching?
this,
Yeah, and this is
listening
your
to our
fault.
spoilers, what are you doing? You're a
Yeah,
crazy
this is
person.
your fault.
But the showing how Mysterio, his grand plan after he dies at the end of the movie, right? He gets shot by his own drone, tries to kill Peter, but just basically succumbs to his wound. And his grand plan that they show in the mid credits is he like doctors up some footage.
Well, not he, but
his team,
His
yeah.
team. One of the last guys left.
Yeah, they
yeah,
doctor
yeah.
up some footage to make Spider-Man look like he was in charge of the drone swarm, and then he killed Mysterio. And then he also says Spider-Man's real name is Peter Parker.
And shows his picture right in Times Square.
Yeah. And so Spidey's like, what the like, that's how it is.
What? And then,
So they could do it a couple different ways. They could just move forward like they have been, and Spider-Man no longer has a secret identity. I don't think that they will do that. They could. I don't think that's what they'll do. it's interesting that the post credits showed
Like
that
the very end,
the very end showed that the scrolls are helping with shield and sword.
By being
that the scrolls are a huge
Maria
doubles.
and-
Right, they're
by
stunt
being Earth doubles.
Basically, they're stunt doubles. That makes me think that what they'll do is have a scroll run as Peter for a bit while Spidey's like flying by. That way, he has
and then Spidey still
clearly
has to
Spider-Man's right there. I'm Peter Parker.
Yeah,
As a scroll actually. But
and then
I saw that online, but I think that's a good idea.
That's a good idea. And then it also doesn't like completely foil like Spider-Man's going to have to deal with this the fallout of this now. Like
I think it's the other thing, just from a story standing, is they brought forward this in a post-credit scene, which not saying that nobody, like not everybody stays for post-credit.
Everybody stays for a Marvel post-credit.
Yeah,
if you don't take it from us, you really should from now on.
But this is gonna have to be this post-credit scene, or some version of it, or some iteration is gonna have to be part of the next movie.
Yeah, they do have to. Well, I don't know.
I think they open up. They know not to like just try to go into the next movie already, but they're gonna probably open up the next movie probably with a whole bunch of news footage, real stuff of being like, who's Peter Parker? You know, like, is he really Spider-Man? You know, like, what power does Spider-Man hold? You know, kind of stuff like that.
How dangerous is more J. Jonah Jameson mouthing off,
Right.
which is really cool to how they modernized even that element of it. Where now the Daily,
well, and it's the Daily Bugle, but like .net, and he's more of a radio talk show host instead of like a newspaper editor.
Yeah, which is
it's really
great.
cool. Yeah, they are
Such a good-
modernizing everything really well.
I do have a problem with, like, I understand that he had to at the end he had to say execute, you know, execute them all.
Yeah,
because he says that line.
yeah.
In
When
reference
he's
to,
telling Edith to shut down all.
yeah,
the
would you like to
drones,
execute that Would you like to execute the
that,
protocol?
yeah.
And he's like, yes,
Yes, execute them all.
yeah.
Execute order
I feel
66.
I feel like that's the only bit that seemed shoehorned in.
I would agree
feel
with that.
like I feel like you wouldn't be like, yes, execute. You'd probably be like, yes, do it.
destroy the drones. Yeah,
Yeah, like shut them down.
Yeah.
You know, I think
See,
that line is the only one
they
that
were trying
seemed,
to pull for a little bit more. Than
something that would
should've.
make it a little bit easier to be like, oh, his dastardly plan worked.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and the other thing is it's very not Deus Ex Machina, but kind of the opposite of that, where it's like if he didn't say that,
Mysterio has no leg to stand on.
Yeah. So like it's very happy.
It is still interesting because Mysterio throughout the movie kind of was saying like people will believe anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that was his mantra through the entire movie was people will believe anything, and that was like his last words.
Yeah.
People they just believe anything nowadays. So I think even if they hadn't said that, Mysterio still would have found a way. But like, I get where you're coming from.
Writing wise is probably one of the weaker moments, but that
it's
being
not even
said,
that weak.
It wasn't even weak.
that's what I'm saying.
It's kind of just like a spot that's bent slightly.
Yeah.
Like it's just forced, but not forceful.
Yeah.
Right.
So now that we've been, and we can come back to this later, but I want to go back again to like a little bit earlier in the movie, like all the mid stuff. The action was really cool. I really liked all the elemental stuff, even though it turned out to be fake. That was really cool. Action sequences. They had all the cool different suits for Spider-Man.
I want to have an aside really quick.
Okay.
We saw it in 3D.
We did.
On accident, my bad.
I was a little bit like,
It really was pretty good though.
yeah. This is if you're gonna see a movie in 3D, this is the movie to see in 3D.
I'm not gonna say that.
I wouldn't say that, but like I had never noticed that I was wearing 3D glasses in this movie, and I usually do. I usually am pretty bothered.
See,
They had a few scenes at the start where what they do is the field of vision is really close, and so they're panning or flying, and it's like, so what happens is the 3D-ness is coming at you and going towards the corner of your field of view.
Oh, okay.
And that's distracting and kind of just blurs, and it's like
And
motion
it's not like
blur,
it's
but
not like a natural blur either. It's kind of like digital blur.
yeah, it's like motion blur but real life, and it's kind of horrible.
Yeah.
That only happened a few times because the rest of the time the really true focus of the 3D was Spider-Man,
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't disconnect him so much from the screen that he was out of the screen.
Right,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like where it's
Well,
obnoxious.
and I like that about 3D now, where it used to be like, do you guys remember
They
seeing
would make
Spy
it-
Kids 3D?
Yeah, they made a
Oh my
movie
gosh, it was like it
specifically-
had to pop out at you.
Yeah.
Now it's just more of like there's a little bit more depth for the screen, and you see a little bit more
So,
in the background.
that
The
being
only
said,
problem I have is that it darkens the colors.
Yeah.
well, that's because the glasses.
Yeah,
Like, there's
yeah.
no way around that.
Yeah.
unfortunately.
With the new Avatar movie, they want to do
Without glasses.
yeah.
That's right.
They want to do without glasses.
Yeah.
But that means you have
That being said, I'm still not a huge fan of 3D personally. I mean, this handled it well, and,
I
and
wanna
it wasn't
see
as
it
bad as I thought it would be.
I'd be okay with. I don't really want to go see it in theaters again, but maybe seeing it again, just watching it on a
Yeah.
4K TV.
In 3D again? Or
No.
Yeah.
Just watching it again like that.
Mm-hmm.
Home 3D sometimes is better than film 3D.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, because you could control the brightness and stuff and the color saturation pretty easily from your TV.
maybe
I haven't done a home
maybe
3D
maybe
situation
watch
yet.
it. Maybe watch it home 3D. But I don't know.
Yeah, no, they handled it better than most, I would say, in terms of how 3D worked and
Yeah,
all that type of stuff. So from a technical standpoint, it was good. Like, Ned was good. I liked
I did
MJ.
want more Ned.
Yeah, you
Zendaya?
did. You
Yeah.
made,
Zendaya. Oh, I love her.
She does a good
I
job.
love Zendaya. She's
her
amazing.
MJ's really, yeah, it was,
And their chemistry is great.
yeah,
Like really good.
yeah, I would agree.
And like she's a different
MJ.
I wouldn't say like she is still pretty MJ from the comics. Like she's pretty strong-headed, strong-willed. But like she's just a different, I guess, girlfriend to the hero than we've ever seen before.
Yeah.
I think. In
I'm
movies.
not like other girls.
Well, her scene where she figures it out too, and like the whole.
She's like, I was only 67% sure he was Spider-Man.
And then when Ned knows that she knows, she's like, I totally figured it out. Like that was so good. It was such a teenager thing, and it was. They've done a really good job.
I think she's honestly out of all of the characters that it's been like a reimagining. She's the best.
Yeah.
Like not saying
I also-
not saying Ned's not good, but like
You mean
we
like as a best friend? Like
yeah. I'm saying like it's just
Flat-
a new character.
yeah.
The character of Flash, I thought, is actually kind of a really interesting been reworked too. We're kind of getting out of like just Far From Home
That's
specifically,
fine.
but that's fine. We'll come back to it.
They're in Far From Home, so
Yeah.
Yeah, but like Flash's changed from being like a jock bully to just being like a really obnoxious
Just a twerp.
nerd twerp.
Well, like
type
he's
kid
more
who-
of a brat than anything.
Yeah.
Like you see, and I think actually the end of this movie when they got home from Europe, their trip, it showed a little bit more of like
Yeah.
made
his
me feel for him.
insecurities. Yeah,
Yeah, and it's like, oh, that's why he
interesting.
is the
And like
way
they're
he
not
is.
just they're painting a lot of their heroes now. I think with more shades of gray. It's not just
they're
you do the
making them
right thing.
human.
Yeah. And it's great. Like they're painting all of these characters in lights where you can relate with each and every single one of them. Even the villains are painted with shades of gray from this past
Where like
Spider-Man
there's a
movie to
motive,
this new one.
Yeah, to where there's like
Yeah.
a motivation behind them. They're not just evil. They're
not
not just
just-
evil for the sake of having a bad guy.
They
for
don't
the
just
vi-
want money or
Yeah.
power or
Yeah,
land.
like there's a reason to it. Like because
There's a rationale,
Mysterio in this one, like that's
He
a
wants
perfectly
to be
legit.
a hero and the best hero.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like there's a perfectly legitimate reason for why he's so
He wants
bent
people to
on doing
feel
what he's doing.
secure.
Yeah,
But he's just been broken before.
yeah, and understandably so. Like
Oh
I
my
mean, our
gosh.
heroes dropped a city out of the sky, so like
Yeah.
it's true.
Like, okay, we're going back to Mysterio again. That scene where they're in the bar and
yeah, he takes
Peter
it off.
hands over the Edith glasses and you see all the illusions come down. You're like, oh my God. And then you see Jake Gyllenhaal's face like transform. He's like, that was so easy.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
Yeah,
that's great acting.
Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal, you mastermind.
yeah. It's too bad that he got killed off because like I kind of want more of him.
I
in the-
would love to see him with the Sinister Six.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is like now with his death, like you can't. I mean, you can still do Sinister Six.
I
without
have an
Mysterio.
idea.
What's
Yes.
your idea?
They can still use Mysterio.
Okay, so I'm gonna
realized this.
I'm gonna let Jonathan go, but I might be the same idea. Go.
No, you go.
Go.
My reaction.
All
was,
right,
oh,
so
yeah.
Yeah.
so they have the technology, they have the character.
We can build it.
No, I'm serious. Like, think about this. So, just if you threw the character of Ultron in a suit like that with similar capabilities, you have Mysterio.
Yeah.
So you could recreate this character from an AI or from something from something like that, and they could have the character still be, or that just be a program that's
It can
running
literally
something.
just be an illusion the entire time.
Yeah,
We'll still
because
mess
there's
with
still
him.
surviving people that are the team that created Mysterio.
It doesn't even matter if the team's around. What I'm saying is, like, you could create this universe has AI and other stuff, so you can create a program that's literally just on the interweb doing stuff.
And that would be a really good, like, if they say hypothetically, we're kind of getting into like speculation territory now. If they did like a Sinister Six movie, and it, or like one of the other Spider-Mans is the Sinister Six issue, and he sees Mysterio and he's like, wait a second, you're supposed to be dead. Like, that can be such a cool moment.
It would be the point of Mysterio, which is to mess with his mind and make him not trust things. Which, that scene where Spider-Man, like,
Spider Tingle.
Yeah, it's Peter Tingle.
I hope
that was hilarious.
It's funny, but I hope they actually call it what it is.
Spider
soon.
Sense, yeah.
Yeah.
The scene where he calls Happy and has Happy come pick him up, and he just can't trust anything, and you see him broken, like, at his core. It's just, he can't trust anything. That scene's great. That is like the pinnacle of Spider-Man. Like, the villain beat him.
Yeah.
Like, he can't even trust Happy Hogan. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It was such a good scene.
And then going off of that, once he kind of like has his realization and everything, and then he starts doing the whole, he starts doing stuff that's very reminiscent of Tony. And that's a
You saw the scene where he put his hand into
and like did all that.
And Happy was like, heck yeah.
and then they played Back in Black. And like,
I
love Led Zeppelin.
You're like, gosh dang it, dude. You're like,
No.
really?
You ruined it, but you didn't. But you ruined it.
You ruined it.
But it's a really, because like we were talking about that, how one thing we hope that doesn't happen is that he feels like he needs to like
Be
Iron Man. And they're passing the torch in such a way to where they're not doing that, but it's still very reminiscent of like, he's the new head runner for.
He is the next Iron Man, but he doesn't.
He's not the
He's
next
still
Tony Stark.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's not the next Tony Stark. He's the next.
That's a good way to put it.
And so, well, I mean, not necessarily, but
I get what he's saying.
but yeah, no, I thought that whole scene was actually really cool. Like, it made me feel a little
really
nostalgic,
liked that.
and I was
Yeah,
like,
I
I'm
really
just
liked
Robert
that
Downey
scene a
Jr.
lot.
still, and it was good. It was really good.
It was a little on the nose, but I still love
Oh
it.
yeah, no, I totally fine with it, because I mean, Spider-Man has always been like the Mickey Mouse of Marvel, right? So now they're really.
I mean, he
bringing
literally printed money.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's really cool how they're now in the movies. They're very appropriately passing the torch from who was the Mickey Mouse of Marvel Cinematic Universe, aka Iron Man, to who has always been
And always will be.
and always been from now on. I'm really excited for like the future of all the Spider-Man movies in the MCU.
so excited for
Like,
it.
I'm
MCU's
excited for
future.
Disney to buy Sony.
PlayStation. I don't know.
All hail our Disney mouse overlord.
Just like 30 years in the future, Disney owns all. We are slaves for Disney.
Welcome to Chocolate Dollar Podcast, sponsored by Disney Media Plus.
Disney Plus.
We have no other options for sponsors.
They told us this is what we're going to be sponsored by, and we accepted.
Our contract is signed in blood.
And they have my money.
They have my daughter.
Please send help.
Gosh.
Martha!
Why'd you say that name? Martha! Anyway, getting back to it. I really like the locations for everything was really cool. Like, and that stealth suit, is that,
The like shield suit that he wears.
yeah, is that, because you're way more familiar with the comic
It's
books
a little
than I
tight
am.
in the spine.
The writing was so good in this movie.
so
All
good.
the comedy, all the it was so
It's
good.
more based on his noir suit.
Okay.
Like, you know, the one in Spider-Verse that Nick Cage wears?
Yep.
It's based on that.
Okay,
It's
so
not a
like,
direct one-to-one from the
It's
comics.
more
but-
similar to some of the older video game noir suits.
Yep.
okay.
What was I going to say? Dang.
Where does Spider or just Monkey?
Night
Monkey.
Night Monkey? I don't know if that... I I don't
could be
think
an
that's from
MCU
the
original.
comics. It
I'd be
could
okay with
be
that.
like
I
a
did
very
just, it's not
obscure reference.
it's
but
not
I
really an
don't think
original.
so.
It's just kind of an off name of a character.
Yeah.
So like,
Which for the little
it's
screen
cool.
time that Ned did get, all of his screen time was great.
Oh, he
like
was-
there
he was-
wasn't a weak moment for that character. I felt, and then
I do
the
feel
whole
like
girlfriend thing.
they
that was
sidelined
really fun.
sidelined him with the girlfriend though.
Yeah.
That's the point of moving him out of the way to get Zendaya, not Zendaya, MJ.
Yeah.
Give MJ a chance to be more of the right hand friend. and-
Yeah. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
Go see it
yeah.
if you haven't already.
If you see, I like, okay, so if we're just going to talk about characters, I like the dynamics between the teachers. The teachers were really funny.
Those-
They're
yeah, those
really
were
funny
really great, yeah.
characters.
They were memorable side characters. Like
So look at it like this. Okay, so I'm just saying, look at old Spider-Man movies. Not that we're just looking at Spider-Man, but has there ever been another Spider-Man or movie where all of the side characters are so enjoyable and actually characters and not just 'cause,
no,
like
I don't think so.
original
no.
either any of the Spider-Man movies before.
Well, and not even
Like-
and they have so many too.
Yeah.
Like all the other Spider-Man movies, they focus on Peter and his girlfriend, and that's it.
Yeah, those-
and maybe Harry.
maybe
And maybe Harry.
Yeah, and then maybe George Jameson. Like in terms of
He's a character.
He's
Yeah.
just there. He's
Yeah.
Jameson.
Yeah.
No, it's just like there's this one has such a bounty, a colorful, array, rogue gallery of
His
characters,
friends,
of
yeah.
Yeah.
characters that are
Yeah.
actual
His friends and
characters
peers,
and
yeah.
that are hilarious, funny, emotional, and real. Like,
I mean, yeah, and that showcases Peter's life better too, because you can't just have Spider-Man. Spider-Man is Spider-Man because of Peter Parker as well. You
Yeah.
have to have both sides do really, really well.
I mean,
And
and
which
this
is
is
the
they
issues.
do really well with
which is the issues that you had with the other
They could
previous
balance.
Spider-Man.
Well, no, but
things,
even
they didn't
even
have really good
even then in
balances.
the old ones, like so the first one, the Raimi series,
Yeah.
it was just like
Which wasn't horrible, but it
just
wasn't-
No, they're pretty good. First one is.
The first
and
two
second
are
one,
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just so the first one is like we did Spider-Man really well.
Yeah.
We did Peter Parker as a 28-year-old man.
Well, he
30
was just getting out of high school, but
32. And then the next one, what's the next actor?
Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield.
oh,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
talking about
yeah.
the
Talking
next
Yeah.
series.
iteration.
So Garfield.
Andrew Garfield.
So Garfield's the next one.
And he was still just graduating high school.
yeah, still
Looks
okay.
like every iteration of
just-
Spider-Man, they've gotten younger with Aunt May and,
And
Peter
Peter,
Parker.
yeah.
Well, just look at it like this. It's like they never focused on any of the teachers. They never focused on any of the, and it just fell flat as a world. The character,
Yeah.
the main characters,
That's a really good point. Yeah.
main characters
Yeah.
stood out and were there and in your face and great. But the backdrop was just dull New York.
Yeah.
Not that New York's dull, you know what I mean? It was just kind of like
Well, I mean,
It was
but
a-
yes,
it was
but
a-
honestly,
standard New York.
gray
Yeah.
scale of New York that can be destroyed.
yeah.
Like versus now where it's
seriously.
like, what about
like,
these other characters?
Now it's like you understand the boroughs that he lives in. Like Queens is like a character in itself.
Yeah.
All of his friends and family, they're characters. They're full fleshed out characters, and you are
You
like,
care about them.
you
I think-
care
I
about
think
them.
Like you're worried that that person could die.
And like in the first one, when the shop across from where he lives, or around the corner from where he lives, where he got a sandwich, that blows up. You feel for that.
Yeah.
And like that never would have happened in any other of the Spider-Man movies.
they
Yeah.
just throw a car through a
He
sandwich
really
shop.
is friendly neighborhood Spider-Man in these movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really good way of putting it. Like that this is the best
is.
neighborhood friendly Spider-Man
Yeah.
you've got.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I feel like everybody's agreeing that this is like.
It's great.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep it up, Marvel.
Yep, you're doing good, and,
So-
And
this
you're
makes me
printing
want all.
money.
This makes me want all the other potentially great Marvel franchises that have not done great away from Marvel to come back to Marvel, so they can be
Like
Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four and X-Men.
yes, yes,
Fantastic Four. Whew,
yeah.
I want it.
I want it so bad.
I you know who's not Captain America anymore? Who can come back?
Chris Evans.
Flame on, baby.
Flame on.
Plays Johnny. Hey, you look familiar.
Wait a minute. You're not as bulky.
More scrawny of a kid. Yeah, no, Far From Home was a really good movie. I don't know if there's much else we can really say about it at this point. There's
feel
so many
like
good things.
We're gonna have to watch it again if we're gonna want to really pull it apart or nitpick it.
Yeah.
'Cause
Right,
First
right.
watch.
First
watch
watch
through-
is you get you taste your tongue a little
Yeah,
bit.
and you get the
You
first
wet your
initial
whistle.
experience.
No, I was like throwing that entire ice cream cone in my mouth.
yeah, no, you get the first experience. That's why I like to, if I enjoyed a movie enough, I like to go back and see it a second time. So I can have that more critical eye.
really
because,
hone,
because the first time you go to a movie, you're not going to it to pull it apart. I mean, unless
you're
it's
a
Warcraft.
critic. Yeah.
But
That movie,
will never let
that
that go.
movie pulled itself apart.
anyways,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's a good movie.
So, all right. Well, thank you guys for. Shut up. Thank you guys for listening or watching this episode of the Chocolate Dollar Show. If you enjoyed it, you can join the conversation by following us on Twitter, by following at Chocolate Dollar. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on various podcast providers, whichever one you'd like to check out. Yeah, and also go check out our YouTube channel where we've got other stuff like Dinner and a Movie and all that type of stuff. So,
Want to watch our cholesterol just go straight up through the roof.
all right.
Literally every single time. They're like, these poor boys.
All right. Until next time,
Get them a doctor.
Until next time, this is Chocolate Dollar signing off.
Bye, Mom.
Thank you for listening to the Chocolate Dollar Podcast. Check in next time.